Greetings, got another Dark Visions video. Today we have Dark Ruby Rose. Dark Ruby Rose has two gimmicks. One is some elemental counters that we don't care about for this strat. The other is that you summon some pets. And the reason that matters for this strat is because we are doing the Behemoth strat. This strategy is to put up Behemoth's ability Generations of Behemoths on the enemy, which will cause them to cover. What that lets you do is use a bunch of AoE tag chainers, in this case Chizuru, Yuffie, and Pain, and you can actually basically just do triple the damage on the boss. And we're going to jump right into it and show off my flavor of the strategy. Alright, we start Wilk off in the base form. The reason we do that is for Titus SDMR. But we're going to shift him right away and stack up his LB. Chizuru's going to use Zidane's SDMR for the LB buff. Yuffie is going to use Mont TMR, and Pain is going to use Pause of Prosperity to get some LB fill for Wilk. And for the same reason, we're going to be using Chronic Flow and Double Bar Darkga to give Wilk another 35 LB fill. And then Behemoth's just going to put up a cover, so we can mitigate all the physical mechanics for this fight. Alright, turn 2, where you're going to be using Wilk's Axe Imperil. Behemoth's guards, he doesn't have anything to do here. We're going to put up Yuffie's 135 Earth Imperil with Landslide Shuriken. Pain is going to use Calamity Border for Wilk and Melissa, because they don't have Brave Shifts. Using Calamity Border here reduces the gearing requirements. And then Melissa's going to LB herself, and that's going to let her use her turn 6 cooldown ability, Seconds of Support, on turn 5. Alright, and from here on out, we're going to be hitting the boss with Dark every turn. So she's going to do a physical light AoE, which is going to get covered by Behemoth. Behemoth obviously has 100% physical evasion, so nothing really matters with that as far as resists go. But we're going to LB with Yuffie and Pain. We are going to Double Bar Darkga for the LB fill for Pain. Pain actually has a 90 cost LB, so it's a little bit of a pain to fill her LB. Get it? Get it? Alright, I'll never do that again, I'm sorry. And then she's going to get her Dark Amp rolling. And then we're going to Nephesite on Behemoth, because the cat will do a Graviga on turn 3. And we got the minion RNG. And it is important for that turn to use Nephesite after Melissa's turn, because it will actually just absorb one of the Bar Darkgas. And if it does that, it can't absorb the Graviga, obviously. As you can see, Melissa's blinded right now. It doesn't matter, because she's Melissa. But everyone else is immune to blind here that needs to be. Alright, turn 4. We are going to put up cover on the boss with the Generations of Behemoths. We're going to shift Wilk to the base form. And we're going to use Double Frenzied Claws, and then Memories of the Ancestral Dragon. And the reason we do that, so if the Reaper had spawned first, that would actually clear the Mirage he uses on turn 3. And then Chizuru will Katana Imperil with Eastern Winds, Staunch Samurai Spirit for the LB fill for Pain, and then Focus Strength for the attack buff for the party. Yuffie is going to fill LB, Elemental Burst Earth, and then this is what you get for crossing a ninja, which is an LB mod boost. Pain is going to Tithe Spirit, and then Melissa is going to Human Killer on Pain, Beast Killer on Pain, and Darkga. And the only reason we're using Beast Killer on Pain is because the racial part of her LB, actually all racial LBs, all racial skills in general, they ignore cover. So she is going to be doing some amount of damage to the beast. It's not a lot. It's not really necessary to put that killer up, but it's something. And something's always better than nothing. And turn 5, we're at a burst turn. We're going to LB with Wilk, Heo card, Brave Shift to the base form, and Heo card with Bahimi, Brave Shift Chizuru, Brave Shift LB Pain, and Brave Shift LB Yuffie. And Melissa shows off her weird kit here. She's going to use Seconds of Support on Chizuru, Human Killer on Yuffie, and the only other action she can do here is a Darkga. And the only reason we're using that Darkga at all is so that she can get the first hit of the chain, which is just a nice little bump for whoever the second hit in the chain is. In this case, it's going to be Wilk. But everything's set up. Let's see what we get. And we're going to get a 268 chain. $29,422,000,000. That is slightly above average. Average here is 28.5. Getting a high variance roll is pretty hard on this team, because when you actually look at the damage breakdown, Yuffie has 3 rolls, because each one of those covered hits is its own variance roll. You know, Chizuru has 6 variance rolls, Pain has 4 variance rolls, Wilk has 2 on his own, Bahimi has 1, Melissa, it doesn't matter, we're not even going to talk about Melissa. Alright, going into the gearing now. When we look at Wilk, obviously that Obsidian Bracer doesn't matter, but Titus STMR does. Nothing else really here matters. Going into the Brave Shift form, he has at least 60% lightning and wind. On his axe, I have 2 LB fill, and then he has Call of the Wild, gives him another 2, which is a total of 4. Because he has Call of the Wild, when he Brave Shifts, he gets another 8, brings him up to 12. The Pause of Prosperity and Mont TMR bring him up to 20. He gets another 35 from Melissa, which brings him up to 55 for turn 2. And then we get our last 5 from Red Bahimi's counter, which is also why Red Bahimi was our tank. Now he's got Cold Current, gives him some lightning resist. He has base wind resist, so he's not super hard to gear here. And then we have a Barra's card on him. Samurai Chizuru, again, 60% wind and lightning. Get that from Double Knight's Metal, Zidane's STMR, and then just some MP materia, not needed. I just get paranoid about not having enough MP when I need it. Alright, and then her damage form, 300% human killer. She's on Bahamut. Yep, that's all there is to it. A cool smile vision card for the 100 mod boost. And then obviously she's getting Melissa's Seconds of Support, which brings her up to a 510 LB mod. Yuffie, Winged Heart for resists, Mont TMR. And in the Brave Shift, this weapon actually needs to be at least 50% attack to make this build work. There's other builds, but this is the optimal one from what I could find. So, a bunch of cow gear, Pain STMR, Indestructible Light, Master of Fate, Hateful Agent, and then the Equip Helm, Helm Mastery. And her own vision card or Cloud's vision card do give higher attack values than Ibarra's vision card. It's pretty much the only vision card in the game that can do this besides the near ones. At least until leader skills drop. Yep, and Bahimi, in his base form, he's built for damage. So you need at least 70% attack on this axe to cap him out. You know, you can see I have 75. And he's got 405% attack, so it's a pretty tight build. He has card. Bunch of true double hand here, and indestructible light. Cloud's clothes, double Gilgamesh hood. And he's on Diabolos, so he is capped human killer. And even with all this, he's only at a very swarthy 6204 attack. In the shift form, important things here are passive provoke, 100% evasion, death immunity, and Sword of Kings. Everything else is kind of secondary. And then obviously, wind and lightning resist, but he's gonna gear for that real easy. I have Tifa's glove on him, because at some point I was paranoid that his 50% counter wasn't gonna proc in the 18 hits he took on turn 1. That's not a real concern. You don't need that. Pain, Titus STMR, obviously. She has at least 5, I think, she has 10 LB fill here, actually. Yep, 10 LB fill, plus another 5 from the Pause of Prosperity, brings her at 15. So she's going to get 30 from turns 3 and 4, just by being alive. She's going to get another 20, brings her up to 50. That 20 is from Tide of Spirit. And then another 10 from Chronic Flow, brings her up to 60. And so you get 3 Bardarches on turns 3 and 4. Brings her up to 90, which she needs for her LB. Besides that, Calamity Border, Tide of Spirit. She's on Kokoryu, so her wind and lightning resists need a little bump from a second Wind Heart. In the Brave Shift, Dark Vision's Katana. She doesn't use the Cow Ring. Reason for that being Arent's Jug and her own STMR. Both better. And her killers, she's on Ibarra's card for the chain cap. And obviously the high stats. Her killers are a little weird here. I have Spectral Fields Forever and Accursed Being for the 100% human killer that she needs. She does not need Hateful Agent, because she has 200% Esper stats baked into her kit. So for her last slot, I'm using the Flammy STMR for a little bit more Beast and Reaper killer. And ends up her stats being Capped Beast Killer, Capped Human Killer, 200% Reaper Killer. Which is better than nothing. Dark Visions has always been a game of inches. And Melissa is on Rama for the lightning resist. Besides that, she's built for damage. You saw her damage. She doesn't need to be built for damage. And yeah, I'm not going to get into building Melissa for damage because it's just a joke to begin with. And that's our team. That's what I used. As of the time of filming this, I am rank 30. We'll see what happens.